class we started with functions of commercial bank. We discussed the first primary functions. Under that we discussed 5 points: accepting of deposits, lending of loans, creation of credit, use of check system and remittance of funds. Now we'll be beginning with our secondary function, the second major functions of a bank. So we know that under secondary, again we have two categories over here. One is agency and one is general utility functions. Now we'll focus on agency functions. So the first one here is payment and collection of subscriptions. Now as customers of bank, right, as customers of bank, we can have numerous agency work done. Now first of all, who is an agent? Agent is a person who does our work on behalf of us. Correct? Who is an agent? A person who does work on behalf of us. That's why I'm going to appoint an agent on behalf of me. Correct? So bank here is acting as a agent. That's why it's called as agency functions. Okay? So agency functions means bank is going to perform certain duties or complete certain tasks in terms of payment or collection of money or funds on whose behalf? On customer's behalf. Is that clear? That is why it is called as agency functions. So what is that first work that he does? Payment and collection of subscriptions. Now these subscriptions can be any kind. I have given you just 3 examples over here. Dividend, salaries, pension, right? Now these are all these amount, where do you think it's going to be credited? In a bank account only. Correct? Or do you think the dividend will come home? No. Salary is going to come home? No. All these medium of payments and collection of money only and only goes through a financial institution called as commercial bank. Correct? So here commercial bank is going to act as an agent. If I as a customer have to pay somebody money, let's say I purchased a TV on EMI basis. Correct? Now every month I have to pay my EMI. I can't keep paying the money every time. I can't keep debiting from my account and paying it to some another account. But at one shot I will instruct my bank. Every month I'm going to give the details of whose account the money should get transferred to or get deducted to. So I'll just connect to my bank account to the supplier or the shopkeeper's account, and automatically bank will be sending money or making the payment of EMI on behalf of the customer. Is that clear? So that way, even dividends, even if I have to receive dividend from the respective company, let's say Infosys company or Accenture company, I have to receive dividend because I'm a equity shareholder. Then the bank or the commercial bank will receive the dividend on behalf of me, because in the company I would have given my bank account details. Okay, my dividend amount should go to this particular account of this particular bank. I would have given the details there. So bank will take care of the collection of dividends from so and so company as instructed. So salaries, again, whenever you are being appointed as an employee of any given company, you will have to open a separate salary or savings account in your name that will be attached to the company. So company will be paying a salary through the commercial bank account. Is that clear? So savings account or salary will be credited to us in the form of an account. So these are the first agency functions or the duties that is performed by the commercial bank. Payment and collection. If I have to pay somebody also, bank will do it on behalf of me. If I have to collect something, collect some kind of funds or payments, bank will collect it on behalf of me. That's the meaning of agency function. My second thing, purchase and sale of securities. Now here we just spoke about the last class demat account, correct? Demat account is meant for what? Dematerialization. To avoid paperwork, every time I buy a equity share or every time I sell a equity share, I need to have the money credited and debited in one particular platform. And for me to avoid all the paperwork, demat account was introduced by the government. That way, all the transactions are electronic and you can buy or purchase a share just at a click away. And how is the money transferred to and fro? It is through the commercial bank demat account. So if I have to purchase some share, I have to purchase some security, where am I going to pay money from? From the bank account. If I have to sell some security and I have to receive money from them, who's going to receive the money on my behalf? It is the commercial bank. Is that clear? So that's the second agency function. Next, acting as. So this is the third point under agency function. Now, commercial bank act as a executor, administrator and trustee. Remember this, they might ask you for a 2 marker, section A. Who is an executor? Why is bank called as a administrator? Why is bank called as a trustee? Or under what circumstance is bank called as a trustee? Let's look at it. Commercial bank acts as a executor when a person may make a will expressing his intention regarding the disposal of his property after his death. The bank may appoint as an executor for such service. So here, a person when on his deathbed and he has a lot of property or any bank balance or a property or a real estate in his name, Mr. A for an example, and he writes a will, okay, so and so, according to my this property should be going to so and so people or to so and so trust. All his details will be written in a will. So will is a statement given by a person just before he dies, or he knows he's about to die, so he's going to write a will as to who has to take care about his property, who has to dispose that property of or that bank balance of. Is that clear? So a person may make will. So will is a legal statement expressing his intention. So it is his desire or his idea as to how to regard the disposal of his property. So who has to deal with the property, how it should be executed, all the instructions he would have written in that will, a legal document or a statement after his death. So after he passes away or dies, who should take care, how it should be disposed, etc. He would have written the details in this will. So the court is going to be appointing a commercial bank as an executor for such service. So who is going to execute all the instructions written in the will? The commercial bank. Is that clear? So that's the first point. Executor means you have to execute according to the instructions laid down in the will. You have to abide by the rules laid down in the will. You cannot go against it or you cannot omit it, but as it is written, the bank has to execute it or put it into practice or action, which is called as executor. Second, administrator. In case a person dies without making a valid will, the property of the deceased may be administered according to the law. Now, the first case we saw, the person before he dies, he alone by his own hand makes instructions or makes arrangement after his death. How should the property be dealt with? But in case the person dies even before making a will or even before sorting out how to divide the property, how to dispose the bank balance, without any information or without any intimation the person dies, then according to the law, bank will act as a administrator. Okay, who are the administration? Administrators are those who are going to make decisions. Now executor, whatever decision the person who has died has wrote in the will, they just have to execute it. Well, as administrator is the person who makes decisions, makes choices. Okay, so here commercial bank acts as a administrator to whom? If that person dies without making any valid will. Is that clear? Hope you have understood the difference between executor and administrator. The third point, trustee. A person may desire that after his death, a part or whole of his property may be held in a trust for the benefit of various beneficiaries named in the will. When the bankers take the liability to administrate of this type of property, he will be called trustee. Understood? A person may decide that after his death, a part or a whole of property to be held in a trust. Now, have you heard of various trust names? Right? XYZ trust, right? We have heard of various trust names. Have you heard institutions are run based on a trust? Have you heard come across? Right? This is what I'm talking about. Now here, a person, that is who's about to die, may desire that after his death, that whatever bank balances he has in his name, or whatever properties he has at his disposal at his name, he would want a part of that property or a part of that bank balance or the entire property to be held in a trust for the benefit of various beneficiary named in the will. Now here what he has made is, the person who is about to die or has died, in the will he has told a part of my property or the whole of my property should be held in a name of a trust, and it should only be benefited maybe to old age people or maybe to orphanage or to be specific people that he has pointed out or he must have listed down in the will. For an example, if Mr. A dies, he might say that my property should not go to my family or should not go to so and so people who are after my property, but then my entire property should be converted into a trust. A trust is a legal institution under the court of law. So under a trust, from the trust it must impact or it must use the money to help children, underprivileged children to be educated, or the old age homes, the grandparents, or to help them or to facilitate their needs and concerns, etc. So this way the person is going to write a will, okay, concerning to convert into a trust as in a legal institution, and from that institution or from that name as an A's trust. So that name will be always remembered by the children or for the beneficiaries who are enjoying the financial assistance or financial help. Is that clear? So that is called as trustee. A person may desire after his death that his property should be of some benefit to any kind of people. It can be children, it can be old age home, it can be specific company, etc. Is that clear? So in all these activities, the bankers take the liability to administrate of this type of property. So it is the bank's responsibility to create a trust, and through the trust, whoever the person is pointed to be helped or to be benefited, they have to make sure the money is used for the right purpose. The bank must not take the property money and use it for personal gain or dispose it on a fraudulent matter, but then they have to use that money only for the useful purpose that is mentioned in the will. In such a case, commercial banks becomes trustee. So they only have to run that trust. Is that clear? So banker acts as a executor, administrator and trustee. Executor means he makes a will and he just has to put it into action, whatever is said in the will. Administrator, he dies without making any will, so and so person. So executor is the person who makes the decisions according to the court of law. They can't make decisions just by selfishly or with any other selfish motive. They have to make decisions according to the court of law. Third, trustee, where the person clearly instructs to convert the entire property or a part of property in the form of trust, and through the trust certain people should be benefited or certain class of people in the society must be benefited. Hope it's understood for you. All of you have followed up the agency functions, payment and collection of subscriptions, that is dividend, salaries, pension, etc. Then purchase and sale of securities, I spoke to you about. Demat account, purchase of equity shares or sale of equity shares just at a click away. And then the third agency function is acting as executor, administrator and trustee. Moving on to the second, general utility functions. Under secondary functions, we have completed agency. Moving on to general utility functions. So the first point here is safe custody of valuables. Bank accepts documents such as deeds, will or valuables such as jewelry from customers. First, by accepting valuables for safe custody. Next, by hiring out safe deposit vaults or lockers. Now, this is a common thing, right? I'm sure your parents would have done this, or generally every household would make sure, instead of keeping documents such as, let's say, house documents, right, that you have, it's your own house and you have paper documents, or you have documents regarding to certain property, or you have gold jewelry or diamond or any kind of jewelry, and if you're scared about keeping that at home, that it will be stolen, you always have an option to what? Keep it into the safe custody of a commercial bank. Is that clear? So one of the function that commercial bank offers is to accept or to just have a safe custody of valuables. In two ways they do it. Either one, by accepting valuables for safe custody, they just accept it. Second, by hiring out safe deposit vaults or lockers. They need even more security or more secured way of keeping the jewelry or keeping the documents safe and secure. Then the bank is going to hire a safe deposit vault or a safe deposit locker, and that locker, that pin number or the key will be with the customer or might be with the bank as well. Is that clear? So that way it is always secure from a customer point of view that my jewelry or my documents are safe with the bank. Of course, will they be charged? Yes. They're keeping our jewelry safe, so we're going to pay certain amount for the locker or for the safe deposit vault. I'm talking as a customer, I would